NXT War Games is in the books. Say goodnight. Did we see the black and gold retain supremacy? Or did NXT 2.0 in the new era, do they now run the show? Find out right here on What the Wrestling. Yes, sir.
You're listening to the What the Wrestling podcast, the show that brings you all things wrestling with your host, RJD.
Oh, you already know what time it is. NXT War Games is officially in the books. And we had ourselves a up and down show with high highs and low lows, but it was all good in the hood at the end. So, stay tuned to the screen. Check out my socials, baby. Follow me, RJD at RJD10K on Instagram, RJ699 on Twitter, RJD199 on Snapchat. Most importantly, follow me on Facebook and YouTube. What the Wrestling, y'all know, and TikTok. Let's go! Yes, 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 'tis I, RJD here. Welcome to What the Wrestling. This is your NXT War Games 2021 review. Man. There's a lot going on in my head right now. We had a lot going on this show. Let me sit back. I just want to talk to you. Let me talk to y'all for a minute. Can I talk for a minute? Let me talk to y'all for a quick second. Almost messed up the camera. There was a lot that happened on this show. This show basically signals the end of an era. It is 90% over. NXT as we know it. This is too high. I don't like this. Okay. NXT as we know it will cease to exist real soon. And I'm predicting the New Year's Evil show, it's over. I first started watching NXT during the Finn Balor, right before Finn Balor went to the main roster. I think Sami Zayn, right before. I started really watching it when Shinsuke Nakamura got there. That was like my first match where I was like, oh, he fought Sami Zayn, because I knew who Nakamura was. And I was like, oh, and then I had to go back and rewatch all the other NXTs from like Finn Balor and Kevin Owens and all of those takeovers. I had to go back and watch those. But I first started watching NXT on a regular basis when Shinsuke Nakamura showed up. And he said, Sami Zayn, I'll see you at NXT. And they had one kick-ass match, and we got the King of Strong Style over here. And I really started watching it just thinking, man, this show is amazing. This is so much better than Raw. So much better than SmackDown. Thank God we have a new brand. And they were signing all of these indie talents that I've heard of. The Kevin Owens and the Finn Balor's and the Shinsuke's and the Sami Zayn's and the Robert Roode or Bobby Roode. and Andrade El Idolo. And all of these people that they just started signing, Samoa Joe, Matt Riddle. I mean, the list can go on and on and on and on and on. But they started signing all these people, and I remember sitting there because I was at the takeover where Matt Riddle debuted, and he was in the crowd, got a bro chant started. I think that was Brooklyn 3. If I'm not mistaken, it was Brooklyn 3 or Brooklyn 4. And I just remember thinking, this is the best, this is way before AEW. I just remember thinking, this is the best professional wrestling show on TV right now. This is the best wrestling show. I mean, I used to look forward to that 1 hour of TV on the network. And when I started doing my podcast about, wrestling, I always used to say, NXT never lets me down. Like, literally. Go back in my old videos and you will see. That's all I used to say. NXT, after every single takeover, after every time I reviewed NXT on Wednesday, NXT never lets me down. Thank God we have NXT. I got so hyped for so many people coming to NXT, so hyped for so many people going to the main roster. Maybe it'll be different with this guy. Maybe it'll be different with this guy. Maybe it'll be different with this guy. And I just said Triple H is a fucking genius. If the company, God forbid, so knock on wood, as my great grandma used to say, God forbid something happened to Vince, if they just let Vince control the booking, and I mean, if they let Triple H control the booking and let Triple H control the stories and the storylines, Raw and SmackDown would be in good hands. That's all I would think about. That's all I would say. And I really love pro wrestling, but I fell out of love with it. Shout out to CM Punk. That pipe bomb got my toes wet back in it. I think that was 2011. And then ever since then, I've been back on the train. And like, I always liked to watch wrestling, but when NXT came out, I looked forward to takeovers. I got Isaac. Shout out to Isaac. Shout out my guy. I got my boy Isaac to get into NXT, and he was not watching NXT. I got him to get into NXT, and he's not easily impressed with anything. And even he was coming to me like, yo, this takeover is fire. And I say all that, I'm going somewhere with this, just stay with me. Triple H built something that a lot of people loved. Now, obviously, he didn't do it alone. He had the talent, he had the people backstage, but it was his baby, it was his team that he assembled to go and get it done and put on the product that we saw from NXT for years when he started taking over it. His vision came to life. And as NXT 2.0 begins to come to the forefront and the new guys begin to take over and the old guys are slowly phased out, there are only about 3 of them left, it makes me sad. I'm not even gonna lie. Yes, it makes me sad. Johnny Gargano came out last night to one final beat. And I'm going to tell you guys later what I think about Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly. But he came out to one final beat, and I was like, him and Ciampa and all of those guys, but especially Gargano and Ciampa, NXT was built on their backs. It almost makes you forget that fucking Ciampa broke his neck and was out for like a year in the middle of a blood feud with those two. And we had to wait to get the last match between them. When Gargano tried And he almost beat Andrade. I think it was Philly. And then he finally beat Adam Cole to finally win the big one. They kept putting him up there. It reminded me of like the not Okada. Who's the guy in New Japan? Not New Japan. Fuck. Not Hangman. There's another promotion. Oh, Tetsuya Naito. Naito. 2 years? I think it was 3 or 4 years now. It was his time. He got there. He lost. He got there. He lost. Everybody just knew, me included, Tokyo Dome, Naito is going to win. He's going to beat Okada. He lost. And then finally, I think it was the next year or 2 years after that, it was like it's now or never at this point. And he won the big one. He won the big one. Gargano is the same thing, long-term storytelling. Hangman Adam Page, same thing. He tried and failed, finally won the big one. Stories told over years. You could trace it back. Gargano and Ciampa are the heart and soul of the NXT Black and Gold brand. They are, and it ain't even close. So, to see Gargano come out one last time to one final beat, I was like, I just had to nod my head and take it all in. Like, when Braun Breaker beats Ciampa at New Year's Evil, which is probably what's going to happen, that's it. The Triple H era of NXT will officially be dead. As my cat wants to be in the mix. It would officially be dead. Dead and gone. Kyle O'Reilly probably going to do the job to Vaughn Wagner. Stupid ass name. Get the fuck out of here! But Kyle O'Reilly's gone. And there will be a Red Dragon reunion in AEW. That's for sure. He better run for the hills and have TK on speed dial. As far as Mr. Gargano, there is news now that Johnny Gargano will be on NXT TV this Tuesday. And Johnny Gargano is going to address the fans and let us know the status of what he's going to do, or talk about what he's going to do. That already tells me he's not leaving, and that sucks.
Nope. Stop it. Get some help.
Now, I'm being selfish here. I know I am, because I want to see Gargano go and wrestle a plethora of people in AEW that I have never seen him wrestle. And I'm not even going to start naming names, because if I do, I won't be able to stop. A plethora of people he can go wrestle over there. And they got so much talent, he can wrestle people for the next couple of years and we won't even see like a rematch. If they book it right. Which I have faith in Tony Khan, so let's get that out the way. So, I know his wife is there. They are expecting their first child. That's common news on Twitter. And he's probably thinking about that. He has to think about, his body. How well could his body hold up? So, I don't think he's going to leave. But if you remember, one Bryan Danielson, one Adam Cole, baby, they both said they loved working for WWE. Especially Daniel Bryan. They really tried to keep him. They did a whole bunch of things to bend over backwards to try to get him to stay. Adam Cole loved working with Triple H and Shawn Michaels, his idols, who he looked up to. And I believe Gargano is the same way. He probably likes it where he is. Maybe he could go part-time. He doesn't have to be in the ring all the time. Maybe he could be a coach. Ciampa, probably going to be the same thing. Triple H loves him. Shawn Michaels loves him. They've been working very closely with him and Ciampa. So I wouldn't be surprised if he stayed. I want him to go to AEW selfishly. I mean, but that's just me being a selfish fan. But whatever he decides to do, the main event of the evening last night on Wednesday was one hell of a main event. And if he leaves, that's not a bad way to go out. So I personally don't think he's going to leave because of what is going to happen coming soon. But that's me. Let's see what happens. So let's talk about War Games. Let's talk about War Games. Thumbs up show to me. Had a couple of bad things on the show, but still a thumbs up show. So I'm not going to sit here and lie and cap and tell y'all I hated the show and NXT 2.0 is trash. And no, we're not going to do that.
Stop the cap.
This show was a thumbs up show. This show is worth watching for the main event and the tag team match alone. Those two matches make it a good show. I wish the women would have finished stronger, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. So I'm going to get into just some of the things that happened, and then we will roll right along. First things first, before we get into anything, I want to let you guys know, hit the goddamn like button. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. We are now on Spotify. We will be on Apple really soon. I just need to get them to fix some things because I'm under processing right now. But we will be on iTunes and we are on Spotify. So check me out on there. If you want to hear the audio version, What the Wrestling, it will be on iTunes and on Spotify right now. My predictions video is already up, and this video will be up today. So, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, and Apple, iTunes coming soon. We are trying to progress and make moves, and like I said, the YouTube channel, I am starting from zero, so please go hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Like, dislike, doesn't matter. Bump me up in the algorithm, guys. Bump me up and subscribe. Let's get these followers up. Let's get these subs up. And I'm going to keep bringing you this wrestling news that we all know and love. War Games. So, War Games started off with the women's match. This was all about Cora Jade. This match was all centered around Cora Jade, and she took one hellacious bump from the top. But Dakota Kai and Kaylee Ray started it off. They immediately brought in some kendo sticks, kept it moving. Then Cora Jade came in, hit a DDT, Gigi Dolan, who got a big babyface reaction as a heel, which is crazy. She came in, brought a trash can with her and a mystery bag. Io Shirai then came after her. JC Jane came in after her. She grabbed the table. And then things started to get interesting. The beginning of this match was boring, not gonna lie. You see War Games, you expect some crazy shit to happen. So, when JC Jane came in, set up a table, Cora Jade said, you know what? They fought a little bit. She said, you know what? I'm going to the top of the cage. Now, if you've seen Cora Jade, look her up. She's about 102 pounds, soaking wet. She's 20 years old. She's a baby. She's a tiny girl. But she's fearless. I saw her at the top of the cage. She got up there mad quick. I was like, oh my God.
Do it! Just do it!
And she did it. And when I say she landed awkwardly, I was like, oh my God. Is she dead? Is she alive? Is she dead? What's gonna happen? I was like, Jesus Christ. So Cora Jade jumps and does a senton, but doesn't quite turn all the way, lands directly on her shoulder, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought she was legitimately hurt. They got me up until Io Shirai tried to pop her shoulder back in. So she crawled all the way over to the cage door. So after she took that hellacious bump, she was selling the shoulder, selling. Everybody in the ring, outside of the ring, is like, oh my God, everybody's looking all crazy. And they're like, is she okay? Now, we didn't see her X. We didn't see none of the crazy shit. So that should have been a warning to me. But she did such a good job selling. She got me. I was like, you know what?
Respect my authority!
I respect her selling because she did a fantastic job. She crawls all the way over to the opening of the door. Io Shirai shuts the door and says, fuck your shoulder, and pulls her back and then shuts the door, pops her shoulder back in, and she sold the shoulder for the rest of the match. Raquel Gonzalez then came in, brought some more trash cans and chairs. Mandy Rose came in last and took her time. She was going over Cora Jade's bad arm. The match came to an end when I think Raquel Gonzalez chokeslammed somebody. I think Gigi and Io kicked each other in the face. Something else happened to Io. And Mandy Rose was... Something happened to Io and Mandy. And Raquel, after the chokeslam, she fell backwards. Cora Jade is the only one left standing with a hurt shoulder. And she pinned JC Jane for the win. So, excuse me, shout out to her.
Gotcha, bitch.
And she gets the win for the women. And she will be the one most likely setting up to face Mandy Rose for the title. I do not expect her to beat Mandy Rose, but they're setting her up. They're giving her a monster push. They let her get the War Games win. This match was all over the place. It started off slow. After that senton, it really started to pick up, and it actually started to get good. But I'm just glad everybody's okay. Hopefully everybody's all right. The women, they tried. They did their thing. It wasn't a bad match. It just wasn't as good as other women's War Games matches, which is fine. It is what it is. This was a solid War Games match. Cora Jade, she's a star already. Off of this performance, she's a star. So let's see what they do with it. Let's see if they could build her up. 20 years old, that's a lot for a 20-year-old to handle. Let's see what happens. Next, we had my match of the night. We had Imperium versus Kyle O'Reilly and Vaughn Wagner. Don't know what that is. So, that's what I think about that name. Shoot it in the face. So, Vaughn Wagner and Imperium. This match was a coming of age match for Davian Eichner. This guy is... I mean, I did that about 15 times in this match. Davian Eichner is a fucking beast. Matter of fact, let's give this guy Don DeMarco, because he fucking deserves it. He deserves it.
Don DeMarco.
He was the shining star of this match. He is so good. First of all, both Imperium is extremely underrated. Extremely underrated. They're just as good as they are just as good as they say they are. They are as advertised. They are solid as a tag team. Davian Eichner is a savage in the ring, and this was one hell of a tag team match. So, Davian Eichner. Let's start with Davian Eichner. Wanted to suplex Kyle O'Reilly before Bartel tagged in. O'Reilly caught him with a knee to the face, but did not slow him down. Vaughn Wagner then came in with a hot tag, took out Bartel and Eichner. O'Reilly came in again. Imperium got the upper hand. When Eichner, there was one point where Davian Eichner did You know how Dante Martin does the one rope, two rope moonsault? Davian Eichner did that one rope, two rope springboard, and it was just like, oh shit. Then he did another one where he did I think it was a moonsault, I think a springboard moonsault, something like that. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's a savage. And then, you know, he's got like the greatest, I wouldn't be surprised if he squats like 1,000 pounds. Because he definitely had, I think O'Reilly jumped on him and he just squatted him straight up easily. So O'Reilly tried several knee bars, but they were all broken up. Bartel, then Eichner then picked him up because he tried to have him in the chokehold. He picked him straight up, and then they hit their clothesline powerbomb finisher as Davian Eichner held on to Kyle O'Reilly, and Bartel tagged in with the blind tag. After the match, Vaughn Wagner tried to attack Kyle O'Reilly, but he saw it coming.
You stupid.
Gave him a forearm to the face and a kick. I think he gave him a kick and then a forearm.
Nope.
Vaughn Wagner got out of there. He threw up the Undisputed Era sign. You know, UE all the way. So he said, you think I wouldn't see that? UE? UE was a brotherhood. You don't know nothing about that. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. Looks like Kyle is leaving. And then shortly after that, Kyle O'Reilly said, this is the first time I did not participate in War Games. But you know what? Leave the cage up. And Tuesday, me and Vaughn Wagner are going to have a fight. So I was like, okay.
Surprise, motherfucker.
That's who you're doing the job for on the way out. So now we know that's that. Imperium, awesome as a tag team. I wouldn't be beating these guys no time soon. Both of those guys are incredible. Vaughn Wagner, good in the ring. Kyle O'Reilly's great. Imperium's great. But these guys shouldn't have been a tag. They should not have been a tag team anyway. Because that shit didn't make sense regardless. That was stupid. But Kyle O'Reilly's going to do the right thing on his way out the door. And I think he is legitimately going to be on AEW sooner rather than later to help out Mr. Cole and Mr. Fish. Moving on. Cameron Grimes to the moon versus Dark Hudson, you hear me? Duke Hudson, hair versus hair match. This was a great TV match. That's basically what this was. Did not need to be on TV, but the end came when Hudson and Lot Grimes in an abdominal stretch yanked him down by his hair. Took over the match for a few minutes. Then Grimes had a head scissor takedown. Kick to the head. He scored a near fall with a tornado DDT. Followed up with a running kick on the apron. But Grimes got rolled up, and then he reversed the roll up and got the roll up win. I think he cheated because Duke tried to cheat, but he got reversed, and then Cameron Grimes cheated. So he's a babyface. It's all good. He's a tweener. It's all good.
Surprise, motherfucker.
After the match, Duke tried to run, but Cameron Grimes caught him. Then Duke beat him up a little bit, threw him in a chair, and he was like, fuck your stipulation. I'm gonna cut your hair anyway. But he got hit with the cave in. He got hit with the cave in, and he got put in a chair. And then he literally, Cameron Grimes only shaved with the clippers. He only clipped his hair twice. So he went back with like a reverse mohawk. Like the mohawk, the hair was on the edges and not down the middle. So he'll be coming back with a Dark Caesar on Tuesday, which is fine. I wish they would have shaved his whole head and gave him a buzz cut, because they keep talking about when they have these hair versus hair matches. I want to see a buzz cut or a baldy. Like, at least give me the buzz cut. Don't give me a hair and that's it. Come on, man.
Get the fuck out of here!
Let me get a buzz cut if you're going to do a hair versus hair match. But I am so glad my boy, Mr. Richman himself, Cameron Grimes, did not get a buzz cut. Because I think his character would have been dead had he did that. So you know what? Shout out to the $1 Million Man. Even though he gave the title back. Moving on. So we had Roderick Strong versus Joe Joe Gacy. This was the weakest thing on the show. It was a TV match. They had a good back and forth match. The end came when Gacy got back in the ring, hit a powerbomb for a 2 count, but Strong recovered, hit a backbreaker because he is the messiah of the backbreaker, and he got the win. This was okay, good action. I like Diamond Mine. I think they're a bunch of talented people. I like the guy who talks for them. Forgot his name. Joe Gacy, I don't get. I just don't get it. That's just me. Don't judge me, but maybe it'll come around to me soon. But it is what it is. Moving on. Your main events. Your men's war game match. This was fantastic. I actually watched it twice. I'm going to watch it again because it's like still some things I missed. So I think that, first of all, Don DeMarco. We had, earlier in the show, we had L.A. Knight. Yeah. Talking about these guys don't understand. Yeah. What's going to happen to them? Yeah. So, we had L.A. Knight talking about how this was about the old brand, the old school, and not the new school. But Ciampa said, no, this is about you. And he pointed right to Johnny Gargano. Now, Johnny Gargano, there was a lot of spots in here with Johnny Gargano doing the DIY finish. Johnny Gargano letting us know how utterly fantastic he is. And listen, the fact that Gargano is going to be on NXT on Tuesday to address what's going on lets me know, A, he's still under contract, so he signed an extension because they wouldn't let him on TV without one. And B, why would they let him talk about leaving when he could show up in AEW tomorrow when traditionally you do the job on your way out? Because when Daniel Bryan left, he got stacked by Roman Reigns before he showed up in New York City. So I don't know. Let's see what happens. But I do not see Gargano winning. So old school versus new school. The old brand that Triple H runs versus the new brand run by Vince and Bruce Pritchard. This is the end of an era. This made me sad. Now, I like Braun Breaker. He's going to be a main eventer in WrestleMania one day. Tony D'Angelo, he is... Actually, I like Tony D'Angelo. I think he's got big things. Carmelo Hayes, awesome athlete. Only one that I'm kind of iffy on is Grayson Waller. He's excellent in the ring, but he needs to have a better character. His character is like Tony D'Angelo. We know who he is. We all know a Tony D'Angelo, whether it's one of our friends' parents or friend's uncle. We all know that guy. Braun Breaker is the superstar. Carmelo Hayes is the young athletic workhorse. And Waller can go. His character needs to be better. I think he needs to tweak it a little bit. But all four of these guys are good. NXT 2.0, dare I say, is in good hands.
Perfect.
Not gonna sit here and bullshit y'all. It's in good hands. I miss my old NXT, man. The black and gold. I do. I miss it. So, listen. It is what it is. So, we had Carmelo Hayes and Gargano starting out. The crowd fully behind Johnny Gargano. We then had Johnny Wrestling get the upper hand as Grayson Waller then came in for his team. He hit Gargano with a backbreaker, took control. Trick Williams threw a chair in the ring and almost smacked Jason Waller right in the damn face with it. Pete Dunne, the bruiserweight, came in. He came in next. He went on a rampage, running wild, straight fucking up Jason Waller's hands. I mean, Jesus Christ. That guy was like, he was just pulling his hands back. He knows how to get his shit in, that's for sure. Tony D'Angelo then came in and he brought in tables, ladders, chairs, and everything else. He brought in some tables. But Dexter Lumis was under the ring, and he came in and chased Williams away while D'Angelo locked the cage door. So Trick Williams was up out of there, and then Dexter Lumis was up out of there, chasing him away. They locked the cage door, and after that, L.A. Knight, he tried to get in. He couldn't get in, so he just said screw it, and he climbed the cage. So he came in, and then Braun Breaker came in. So this was when shit got funny. Because Braun Breaker is sitting there. The refs are trying to bolt cut the door with bolt cutters. They're trying to open the door. The chain ain't breaking. So then they pan to Braun Breaker, the big buff guy. Let me do it, you mere mortals. Let me do it. But he can't get the damn door open.
Stop it. Get some help.
So it's hilarious.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
So finally, after about 5 minutes of them working on their forearms, they finally got the damn door open. So Braun Breaker came in. Then huge brawl came out. Ciampa then comes in. And then things get crazy. We then have a huge brawl came out. The black and gold team got the better of them. They had a huge standoff where 4 members from black and gold, 4 members, and they do the traditional war games, come to the middle, and then they all just started brawling. That got crazy. But then Waller hit a huge elbow off the top and put LA Knight through a table, thus getting him out of there. And then you had some back and forth action. The end came when Ciampa and Braun Breaker were fighting, and Gargano interrupted. I think he hit one final beat. He hit the one final beat on Braun Breaker. And shout out to Braun Breaker, because he was tossing. He was belly to belly and motherfuckers all over the place. So shout out to him. He had a great match. So after the one final beat, he comes. Him and Ciampa do the DIY knee super kick in the middle of the ring. And then Ciampa, after they get rid of Braun Breaker, Ciampa is about to hit the fairy tale ending on Waller, but Mr. Braun Breaker spears him through a table. He speared him through the table, and I think he hit him. With the military press slam, or was it through the table? I can't remember. But he ends up, after the spear through the table, he ends up getting the win for his team. So he will be challenging Ciampa for the right to be the NXT champion, probably at New Year's Evil. And he is definitely going to win the next one. So he will be getting his win back. And who knows what happens to Ciampa after that. So that was your War Games. War Games was really, really good. I'm not going to sit here and say that it was not a good show, because it was. And I'm glad that they... You know what?
Perfect.
I know it's old school, new school, but we know what the old school represents. That represents Triple H. That was his baby and everything that he tried to do. This new school is something different. That's Vince and Bruce Pritchard, and that's their vision of what NXT should be, which I really... It's not as good as Triple H's vision. I'm just going to put it like that, say it bluntly. But they have some talented people. And I pray to God that they actually know how to use the people that they have. With that being said, that's all I got for you guys. This just in though. Jeff Hardy was taken off the road. So before I go, let's talk about Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was taking off the road during a house show. He was taking the heat, and then he went for a hot tag, and it was the Bloodline versus McIntyre and Jeff Hardy. And after that, and Rey Mysterio, after he got the hot tag, he left the ring and walked out through the crowd. Now, not Rey Mysterio, Xavier Woods, McIntyre, and Jeff Hardy. So, sorry about that.
You stupid.
Gotta hit the button on myself sometime. So, I don't know. No one really knows. It hasn't come out yet why he left through the crowd. We don't know if he's hurt, if he was injured, if he just said, fuck this, I'm out.
Oh, hell no!
Nobody knows. We know Jeff Hardy has a past. He's had to fight some demons. But I reserve the right You know, and no judgment. I reserve the right to wait till everything comes out to talk about it in depth. So whatever it is or whatever happened, concussion, something crazy, I just hope he's okay. He's been taken off the road, and he's been replaced on the road by Rey Mysterio. Okay, fine. I just hope that he's all right. And I'm gonna watch his Broken Skull sessions today, actually. So I'm looking forward to watching it. I wish Jeff nothing but the best. If something is wrong, speedy recovery, brother man. If something isn't wrong and he was just like, fuck this. Oh, hell no. Then hopefully everything gets resolved quickly. We don't know. They were saying that he was a little sluggish. He looked sluggish during his entrance. And he looked sluggish in the ring a little bit. But that could be fatigue, man. We don't know. You know, nobody knows. So we'll see. It'll come out. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. It is RJD. Thank you for watching or listening to my What the Wrestling review of NXT War Games. So I appreciate all of y'all. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I am on Spotify, What the Wrestling, iTunes, coming soon. iMusic now, Apple Music. What the Wrestling coming soon, probably by today or tomorrow. And then you got What the Wrestling on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. So follow my YouTube, hit that like button. I'm out of here. Everybody be safe. Peace.
Dom the Monko.